But first, here's my take. For some years now, the Democratic Party looked as if it could do nothing right. It lost the presidency twice to Donald Trump, the Biden victory looking more like an interregnum now. Once solid blue states turned red. Its working class base eroded. In 2024, even non-white voters drifted away. This week's elections mark a reprieve, and perhaps the start of a recovery, but only if Democrats draw the right lessons. The race that drew the most attention was Zoran Mamdani's, a stunning rise from near obscurity just 10 months ago. But Mamdani is a singular figure, unusually charismatic and politically deft. And New York City is unlike most of America. He won with 50% of the vote. Bill de Blasio won his 2013 race with 73%. The more telling bellwether was Virginia, a state with a popular outgoing Republican governor, where Democrat Abigail Spanberger trounced her opponent by nearly 15 points. Mikey Sherrill did the same in New Jersey, winning the governor's mansion by 13. Both women ran as centrist Democrats focused on the economy and studiously avoided getting drawn into the culture wars. Even Mamdani, though clearly progressive, ran a campaign relentlessly centered on affordability. There's an ongoing debate within the Democratic Party about whether to move left on economics or right on culture. That debate misses a deeper shift in American life. The largest chunk of voters still say the economy is their top concern, but they increasingly view the economy through a partisan lens. When their party is in power, they think the economy is strong. When the other side takes over, that same economy suddenly looks dire. In effect, politics now shapes people's sense of economic reality, not the other way around. And people choose their political tribe using two markers the left has long struggled to navigate: culture and class. Across the democratic world, the pattern is familiar, as I outline in my book, Age of Revolutions. The changes of recent decades, globalization, the digital revolution, mass migration, new gender and identity norms, have produced a backlash that is primarily cultural. It has appeared in countries that have boomed, like the US and Poland, and in those that have stagnated, like France and Italy. It's arisen where inequality is high, as in America, and where it's low, as in Sweden or the Netherlands. It's shaken economies that still make things, Germany, and those that rely on services, like Britain. A 2023 Ipsos Global Trends survey showed that in many advanced democracies, large majorities think the world is changing too fast, including 75% in Germany and nearly 90% in South Korea. The right has learned to weaponize people's unease, offering a story that is emotionally coherent even when factually thin. It promises a return to the world many people remember, if only the global elites are cast down. The left, by contrast, tends to counter emotion with information. But people do not want to be told that they are wrong to feel uneasy. They want leaders who acknowledge that unease and help them navigate it. If culture has been the first great shock to the modern left, class has been the second. The divide today is not between capitalists and workers. It's between those who flourish in a credential-driven economy and those who feel locked out of it. The right has exploited that perception masterfully. Trump's movement has never followed through on an anti-elitist economics. His cabinets have been packed with billionaires, but it has been ferociously anti-elitist in culture. His enemy is not the hedge funder, but the Harvard professor, not the CEO, but the columnist. The professors are the enemy, Nixon once quipped, and J.D. Vance has repeated the line. Trump turned it into a strategy, waging war on America's cultural institutions. This inversion, the rich as rebels, the educated as oppressors, has redrawn the map of American politics. In 1996, Bill Clinton won voters without college degrees by 14 points. By 2024, Kamala Harris lost that same bloc by 14 points. The answer is not to tear down the meritocratic elite. The alternative is worse, an aristocracy of birth or the family and friends cabal surrounding Donald Trump's White House. Better to rebuild a genuine democratic meritocracy, one that wields its advantages with humility and a sense of stewardship. That means expanding access to education and networks so that mobility is real, while cultivating leaders who can see beyond their class and credentials. Renewal and reconnection are possible. Denmark offers a model. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen tightened immigration rules and demanded integration. But those measures are paired with robust social investment. Critics on the left call the Prime Minister's approach illiberal, but it worked. The Danish Social Democrats coalition won a majority in 2022, and the party had its best performance in 2 decades. The lesson for Democrats is not to copy Denmark's laws, but to emulate its sensibility. That means marrying the party's best instincts, compassion, inclusion, reform, with a tone of steadiness and respect. It means remembering that patriotism is not the property of the right, that liberalism too can speak the language of tradition. In the 19th century, nationalism and liberalism rose together as revolts against imperial hierarchy and arbitrary rule. The task now is to reunite them, to make the national project a liberal project, rooted in dignity, pluralism, and fairness. Right-wing populism is not destiny, it's nostalgia. Liberal democracy has been counted out many times before, only to prove itself remarkably resilient, because in the end, it remains the best roadmap because it addresses the most powerful yearnings of human beings for betterment, progress, and for freedom.